Hi guys, so my name's Isabella. By the title, you already can tell what it's going to be about. The time I got pregnant when I was 17 years old. So I'm just going to get right into it. So when I was 17, I started dating this guy. I'm not going to say his name. But when I was 17, I started dating him around like September. But I started talking to him in August. And I was still 16 then, but we started dating in September. But I started dating his friend when I was 16, and that didn't end well. So I started dating him, and we like clicked. Like, everything was perfect, everything was good. We were hanging out, chilling, but yeah. So around January, I was getting really sick all the time, and then last year, January, everyone was getting sick with the flu, like a very bad flu. Like, everyone was throwing up like crazy, like it was going around. So I was like, maybe I have the flu, So I went to the hospital because I thought I was so sick. And they did all these tests because I'm like, why isn't it going away? Like, weeks on weeks not going away. So they like gave me a pregnancy test without me even knowing, obviously. And they took my blood, and the nurse is like, my mom's with me. So my mom was with me, and they're like, ma'am, like, you have to get out of the room, blah, blah, blah. And they've never made her do that before. So I was like, what the fuck, So she left the room, and then they were like, so we gave you a pregnancy test, and it came out positive. And I was like, what? I was like, I've only had sex, like, once, with this guy. And, because we waited a long time, which you should do, okay? So I was like, I've only had sex once. Like, how can that happen? She's like, it can happen. She's like, it just has to have the right time, once a month. I was like, well, yeah. So I started crying. I was like, no, like, this can't be happening, And, yeah, I was just, like, in shock because I wasn't expecting that. I had plans to go to college. I had so many plans, and I can't do all those now. Like, I still can go to college, still can get a good job, but it's gonna take more time because, my daughter comes first. Oh yeah, I have a daughter. But okay, so let's go back to like when I found out. So I texted my daughter's father, and I was like, I'm pregnant, we're gonna have to talk about this, because at that time I found out, I didn't know what I was gonna do exactly. I wasn't planning an abortion, but I was just like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, we're so young, we have our futures ahead of us, like, what the hell am I gonna do? So, yeah. So I was just like crying, and I was telling the doctor, I was like, you lying, like, hard as a bitch, like, I am not pregnant. She's like, yeah, you are. So, yeah. So they were like, we don't have to tell your mom. I was like, well, how's she gonna come in the room and I'm gonna keep this from her, because I was in shock. I was crying, and my mom walks in the room, and she's like, so what happened? And I was like, nothing. And then I just couldn't keep that from her because me and my mom are very close. So I was like, Mom, I have to tell you something. And I was like, you're not going to like it. Please don't be mad at me. Please don't kick me out. And she's like, what? And I was like, so they just came in here and told me I'm pregnant. And she was like, what? She's like, I thought you were a virgin. And I was like, well, shit happens, like, it's never planned. It's not, like, it just happens, She wasn't mad, but she wasn't happy. She was like, I'm disappointed, but, it's your decision. It's gonna be okay. She's like, whatever decision you make, I'm gonna support you. And I was like, okay, that made me feel so much better, So that happened. So I went home, and my baby's father was like, what are you gonna do? He's like, we're not keeping the baby, right? Like, and don't put hate on him because, I didn't know what I was gonna do at first. It was, he had a good reaction. Not a good reaction, but, any normal person's reaction, they're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, I thought we were good, and I was told that I could not have babies. I wasn't ovulating at all. Months before that, I was getting, bad periods. They're like, you can't have a baby. So I was like, oh, we're good. Like, my fault. But it's my doctor's fault for telling me, false information. But yeah, so I went home, and he called me, and he's like, what are we going to do? We're not going to keep the baby, right? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't know yet. Like, I need to think about it. I need to sleep on it. Like, the next day, I had to go work. I acted like nothing happened because I found out I was 4 weeks pregnant. So, you know, that's not when you usually tell people you're pregnant. You wait, you know, usually 12 weeks. So I talked to my friends about it because, of course, I told my best friend first, you know, when I got home. And she's like, you know, it's going to be okay. She's like, don't make any rash decisions right now because you don't, you know. So I was like, okay, like, I didn't make any decisions. So my boyfriend came over the next day, and he was just like, you know, we're not, like, the same thing again, like, we're not going to keep her, blah, blah, blah. Not her, but, you know. But he was just like, I don't know how we're going to do this. He's like, money's tight already, you know, we're so young, we don't have good jobs, you know, we're making, you know, 8 something an hour. We're not, how are we going to do this? So I understood where he was coming from, but I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't give her up. So that was causing, like, a big conflict in our relationship because at the time his mindset was like, I'm not doing this. And then he was having his friends saying, like, we're not going to do, you know, don't do this. You're going to ruin your life. She's ruining your life. She's trapping you, all that nonsense. Because I'm not trying to ruin nobody's life. You know, a baby is a blessing, never, you know, something bad. And I don't like when people say that the woman's trapping you because you got pregnant. That is ridiculous. But anyways, not the point. But yeah, so he was just like, you're not keeping the baby, you're not doing this. And I was like, yes, I am. Like, at that point, I was like, yes, the fuck I am. I was like, I will not give up my baby. And I'm very independent, so I was like, you know, with or without you, I'm gonna do this shit, whether you like it or not. And I was like, I love for you to support me, but, you know, if you don't, you don't. So I gave him, you know, I told him, if you're not gonna support me, if you're not gonna stick by my side, you know, you can go. Point blank period, you know. I'll be fine regardless, you know. So I keep saying, you know, sorry, that's just me. You'll understand that I always say, you know, like, but anyways, so, you know, you're not gonna be there, blah, blah, blah. So he was just like, I have to think about it. And he's like, can you at least talk to, like, an adoption counselor? And I was like, okay. So my school, like, gave me, you know, some numbers to adoption counselors because my counselor at my school was trying to help me out. Like, you know, just look at your options. So I was like, okay. But my mindset was like, I'm keeping this baby. But, you know, I'll make you happy. I'll look at my options. So looking at my options, they were telling me, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to make somebody happy. Like, I'm not going to make you happy, and then I'm not going to be happy, and I see someone else raise my child. No. So I told him, I was like, this is what's happening. I'm sorry, like, whether you like it or not. And he's like, okay, okay. So I think it was, like, probably 3 months pregnant. He's finally on board. Finally. Which is crazy, because, you know, I went through all that hell every day saying, like, we're not going to keep this baby. You know, like, that hurt, you know? Because I really wanted, you know, I wanted to keep my baby. Like, every day. Please, please don't do this to me, Bella. Please, you know, please don't do this. And it was hard hearing that from someone you love so much. And it's like, I understood, like, where he was coming from, but it was just hard hearing that, you know. But anyways, so months went on, and he was happy. So, like, 4 or 5 months, I think 4 or 5 months, we found out we were having a girl. And I was so happy, like, the best day of my life. Like, I would have been fine if she was a boy, but it was a blessing, you know. So found out she was a girl, and I was just, like, crying in the ultrasound. Like, we had a gender reveal like 2 weeks after we found out, and we were supposed to wait, but, like, me, I can't wait. Like, I just needed to know at that time, and it was hard to keep it from everyone, but I did an okay job, because at my gender reveal, I told my boyfriend's mom, I was like, look at her and I was like, look its legs. I totally fucked up on that one, but, you know, I was just nervous, you know, especially, too, because I really haven't, like, you know, known my boyfriend's family, because we were only dating for, like, 2 to 3 months when I was pregnant. So we knew each other because we worked together, but we didn't, like, really know each other. So we never, you know, those first 2-3 months, you're getting to know each other, getting, you know, all that. So we didn't really have time to, like, meet each other's families yet and all that. So, yeah, I was nervous on my gender reveal. But, yeah, everyone was so happy to find out that she was a girl. But, yeah, my whole pregnancy, I was so sick. Like, not every day. Throwing up, which people say usually when you're so sick, you're having a boy, but others say you're having a girl, so I was just like, I don't know what I'm having, but, you know, I was in shock. But yeah, my whole pregnancy, I was working 40 hours a week, working my ass off to support my daughter. You know, I wanted her to have a good life, which I know not making, you know, $9, $8 an hour is a lot, but I'm still in high school. Yeah, I'm still, when I first found out, I was a sophomore. No, I was a junior. I'm sorry. I was a junior. And yeah, I was a junior, and I was just like, what the hell? I got one more year of high school, but, you know, I did it. Like, I have a couple more months of high school. I'm a senior. I'm doing really good, which I'm in shock because babies are a lot of work. You know, everyone knows that. Being a mom is very tough, which it is so rewarding. It is. Watching her grow every day is like the best thing ever. Looking at something you created is beautiful, you know, which, yeah, it's very rewarding. So, yeah. So basically, sorry, get back to the point where we were. So my gender reveal, all that, we were all happy to find out that she was a girl, and I was working my ass off to support her, all that. So then, what is it called? After we had her, like a couple months after the gender reveal, me and my boyfriend were having like some issues, which made it hard, you know, in the relationship, like about money mostly, because when you feel like you're doing more than the other, it's very stressful, and I didn't want to have all that stress. But then during my pregnancy, I was having issues with my family, like my own grandma. Like, this is sad. My own grandma and my aunt. My own grandma tried to cancel my baby shower. They were like fighting with me, and then they had the nerve, like the audacity, to text my boyfriend saying, "You're not the baby's father," which was kind of funny because I don't do people like that. Like, you know, sleeping with others, like when you're in a relationship, that's wrong. Everyone knows that. If you do that, you're dirty. Sorry. But, you know, that's wrong, and the fact that they did that, I was just like, no. I don't want people like that around my child, and especially, you know, you're pregnant, you're very emotional, hormonal every day, like, someone's gonna call you screaming at you, you know, saying, like, ah, like, calling me all these names, saying I'm a user because they bought me a car. Well, they didn't buy me, they just gave me their old car, which was so nice, and I'm so grateful, you know, but they expected me to hang out with them every day, and I couldn't do that. I was 8-9 months pregnant. Like, that's a lot, you know. You're expecting a lot when I'm working full-time. That's, you know, you can't expect that from someone, even pregnant or not. You can't expect someone's full attention 24/7. If you do, you need to lower your standards, honey, because that's too much. But yeah, so I was fighting with them like so much. So they tried to cancel my baby shower because they helped me with a deposit, which I was so grateful for. I was thanking them every day. It's like, what else do you want me to do? Get on my knees and, like, praise you? No, bitch, I am not like that, you know? And I was just like, you know, they're like, yeah, I can't believe you would delete me from your baby shower. But I'm like, you tried to cancel it, and you were saying that my boyfriend isn't the father and saying you're going to call CPS on me. And I'm like, my baby ain't here yet. Like, and you're going to take my daughter from, like, they're like, I hope CPS takes your baby. I'm like, what? She's not even here yet, you know? And I was like, that's not my character. That's not how I am. Like, someone would take her from me. That I don't do nothing I'm always with her, which that's where I want to be, you know? But yeah, it was just crazy. And then, so I had her like 2 weeks early because I went to just a checkup, like a normal checkup, like 38 weeks, just a checkup to see everything was good with her, which, you know, at the end, there are weekly appointments. So at that checkup, they're like, your blood pressure is crazy. Like, it went so high that they're just like, you're saying you're not going home. And I was like, what? Which I was happy. It was just so mixed emotions. Like, I started throwing up like crazy right after because it was just like, wasn't expecting to have her for another 2 weeks. I was like, I have these 2 weeks to get everything done, and I couldn't even do that. So it was just like kind of stressful. But, you know, we made it happen. Like, everything was fine. I got her room done in time. But the night before I went to the appointment, like, I was getting all my schoolwork done. I got, like, so much shit done. I was cleaning her room, and I'm like, what the hell? And I feel like my mom's like, you were nesting. And I was like, what? Like, I just felt like I just had so much energy to do everything for her and get everything done. Like, my body knew. I don't know. It's just crazy. But, yeah, we had her. So, that night, or that day, we went into the hospital. And they're like, you're not leaving, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, they started to induce me. They, like, put this thing, I don't know what it's called, in you. But they put that in me or whatever, and I started getting contractions like crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then my water broke, like, I think 3 hours later. Once your water breaks, that's just intense. Like, oh my god, that is fucking intense. That's like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And they were like, just wait for your epidural, just keep waiting, I was like, no, I want it fucking now. Like, I needed that epidural like right now, because, you know. But and then they give you like this stuff in the IV. They're like, let's try this stuff with the IV first. So they tried it. It just made me feel like I was high as fuck. Like, it didn't make me feel like anything else. I don't do drugs, okay? But, you know, it makes you feel like, you know, you're like in the clouds. But yeah, I felt horrible, like, you know. But they gave me that thing. The epidural only numbed half my body, you know. But yeah, I was in labor for like a total, I think, like 15 hours. But I only pushed for like 15, I think it was 15 or 20 minutes. So it wasn't long. It was, people say you had an easy delivery, which I feel like I did. But yeah, so I had her October 19th in the morning, like 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, 7:32 in the morning. Yeah. I had her in the morning. It was crazy. Like, yeah. But altogether, like, everything's been good since I've had her. It's been hard. Definitely keeping up with school, working out. But, you know, it's worth it. But if you guys want to see more of me, like my video, comment, subscribe, like, share my videos. My video. Okay.